Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dropkick Radio Wrestling Show at dropkickradio.com. I'm Jeremy Graves. You may know the man sitting next to me. He is the Chris Jericho. We are currently sitting, for the second year running now, this has happened, on his tour bus. We're backstage at the final night of the UK tour in Brighton. Chris, how's it been going?
You're my favorite interviewer, man. I feel like I'm on the news or something like that. There's been an oil spill in the Pacific. Be very careful, ducks are dying. Yeah, everything's going great, man. It's been a great tour. 12 shows in a row, which is pretty crazy, but it's been fun. So this is our last night, and we say goodbye to the lovely UK for a few months.
And you just mentioned 12 shows in a row there. How's your voice held up?
It's good. I mean, we like to play. We don't like having days off, so I was like, book as many shows as you can. And last year we did 15 in a row. And then this summer we had quite a few days off because it was like the festival season. And that was like, we hate having days off. We hate having days off. But 12 in a row is a little bit hard on the voice. You have a little bit of wear and tear. So I don't think we're ever going to do 12 shows in a row. There's nothing wrong with doing maybe 6 and a day off or 5 and a day off or something like that. But yeah, it's been great though. The fans have been amazing and the crowds have been great. So overall, it's been a lot of fun. Has the fan base developed at all since the last tour? Excuse me. Yeah, it always develops, man. That's one reason why we always come back to the UK. It's like a second home for us here, and this has been our 4th tour on Chasing the Grail in the UK over the last 18 months. So that's why we're back again, and we're back playing places like Brighton and Southampton and York and High Wycombe and places like that. We're going into the trenches. We're not just doing the Londons and the Manchesters and stuff. And I think our band has a reputation of doing that. And that's how we've built such a great fan base here, and that's why we continue to come back, because people continue to come and new areas open up and new fans want to come check us out. So it's kind of snowballing at the moment. Close the door. Boom. There you go. One of the big parts about this tour following our previous interview was that you've got the new bass player in. And you mentioned how he's really changed up the feel of the band, how you're more of a tight-knit ship, as it were. How has his presence impacted the tour? Because you mentioned that you were really looking forward to doing a full tour with him. So how has that been, and has there been a general response to that? Yeah, I think people are just blown away, because our former bass player, Sean Delson, was really popular. He was a real fan-friendly guy, so there was a lot of people that were like, well, you got some big shoes to fill, but at the end of the day, they're all like, Sean who? We love Paulie. And just as a player, the way he looks, his personality, it's been just a blast. It's like it's like meeting him instantly, you have a new friend, and now it's like, you live on the submarine here for 2-3 weeks together, you become very close very quickly, both literally and figuratively. So he's a perfect match for the band in all aspects, and he really is a huge asset for us. That's going to continue. He's going to help us to continue to move to the next level. Now, I mentioned that we're here before the show in Brighton, but so far, what's been the hottest crowd of the show for you? Has there been one that's just stood out above all others? Glasgow was a great show. That was one of my favorites. The night before last in Plymouth was amazing. Even last night in Wycombe, it was crazy. It was like at a festival or something. Most of the crowds have been pretty good. I find that places where we've been multiple times, people are more into it right off the bat because they know what to expect from us, and they know that we expect a lot from our crowds as far as participation and getting into it and being into it. If we go to a place where we haven't been, or maybe haven't been in a long time, sometimes it takes a while for people to figure out what's going on and figure out, we really need to get into this. So, but the crowds have just been crazy overall. It's just been a blast every night. I can't believe it's been 12 shows already. It seems like a blur. From there, then, you're venturing off into Europe, I believe now. Is that correct? Yeah. What are you expecting from the European crowd? Because I know you've done previous shows there. You ventured into Denmark on the recent tour, obviously. Have you got any expectations, or should the fans in Europe have expectations in your eyes following this tour? Well, we haven't played a lot over there, and we're trying to open the market up and make it like a second UK for us. Or the same with Australia and France. Canada has really been big for us. So we want Germany and those countries to hopefully embrace the band as well. So Yeah, it's like we're kind of going there to open the doors and build something just like we did here 6-7 years ago. So yeah, I hope they're good. You know, we've played Germany a few times. They've been pretty crazy for us. We were supposed to play Denmark last time, but that's when the bus crash happened,
of course.
so we never got to. So hopefully now we'll get to, you know, see all the people that wanted to see us that time. And Holland is new for us as well, so it's kind of uncharted waters at this point. So I know what we do on stage, so our shows are the same no matter what. You know, whether it's 10 people or 10,000, we put on the same show and go and have a great time and you know, make people into fans very quickly. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm looking forward to it.
You mentioned this is the final tour, as it were, on the Chasing the Grail record. You mentioned in a previous interview, already begun work on the album, you've got some songs ready to be recorded and whatnot. Any new material that perhaps has come about from this tour? What any ideas?
Yeah, well actually you can see like the guitars here, this here, I don't know if you can see it if you have the view, but this is kind of the portable recording studio, which is how easy it is to record nowadays. And Rich has been writing songs every night on the bus. Whenever we're basically not on stage, or doing interviews, he's in here writing. Based off the lyrics I gave him maybe a couple months ago now. But the other night, he's like, I got an idea for a really heavy, fast song, but none of the lyrics are really fitting. And I said, okay, well, I got an idea for a song. I gave him the idea for the song, the title, and he was like, oh, that's great. So he went to work doing his thing. I went to work writing lyrics, and about 3 hours later, we have this amazing song that's going to probably open the record. You know, it's like one of those tunes. So it's been great to kind of have more of a... you know, concerted effort, more of a personal touch writing songs rather than just sending ideas back and forth. Actually be here. What do you think of that? So that's great. What do you think of that? I think it's great. You know, a little bit of moral support here and there. And I think this is going to be our Black album. This is going to be the best by far of anything we've ever done, which is what we want to really, like I said, to continue to capitalize on the momentum that we've got over the last couple of years.
You actually mentioned the Black Album now. I know you're a big Metallica fan.
Yeah.
Have you heard that they're going to be playing the entire Black Album at Donington
Yes,
next year?
On Saturday with Sabbath on Sunday. So, I mean, that's one of the festivals we're hoping to do next year. So yeah. I hope we're on it, because either night is going to be amazing. It's going to be hard to compete with that festival. You know, I don't know any of the other sonospheres or whatever are going to have to really pull a rabbit out of their ass to put together something as cool as that.
When it comes to favourite albums, then, here's a random question then. If there could be one album that you could hear from one of your favourite bands with the exact lineup live, what album would you choose?
The White Album.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's my favorite Beatles record, so I mean, I would love to hear that in its entirety. I know Fish did it a couple of years ago, but to hear it, you know, with the Beatles, as kind of like in a fantasy time world, that would be really cool. And Master of Puppets as well. And Metallica has done that before, and I've seen it on DVD, but I never saw it live. So those are probably my two favorite records.
Staying on Metallica, actually, because it is quite a talking point in the music industry at the moment, their collaboration with Lou Reed. Obviously, it's, to be blunt, it's got some scathing reviews. It's a very much like or hate concept. I think the concept is really unique, having it about a German playwright's plays from, I believe, the early 1900s. And I love the idea, but in execution, it wasn't really my cup of tea. Have you had a chance to listen to it? And if so, what did you think of it? Well,
that's the thing. I think a lot of people are reviewing it and giving opinions without maybe even hearing the whole thing. And I haven't heard it. It came out since we've been over here. I heard the one song, and I'm such a Metallica fanatic that I want to like it, but I am not a Lou Reed fan. I never have been. I don't like his voice, his singing or talking or whatever it is. So I think it'll get really annoying for me. So I'm just going to put that in the, you know, Metallica wanted to do it, and like James and Lars can't stop talking about how much they love it, so I'm glad they did it. But I don't know if I even really want to, you know, I'll probably listen to it, but I don't know if I'll like it. But if, you know, as long as they're happy with it, I don't really care, to be honest with you, because it's not. If it was the new official Metallica record, then we'd have some issues. But
yeah.
I think people are really over exaggerating. Well, this could be the end of their career. They're going to screw up all the goodwill they've got. It's Metallica. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Exactly.
You know, and if you don't want to get it, just don't buy it. I saw that the first week sales in the States were like 15,000. So obviously people are not tearing down the walls to get it. So that's it. If you don't want to listen to it, don't buy it, and they'll put out a new record in another year or two anyway, so what difference does it make?
When it comes to collaborations for you then, is there anyone that you would like to have the chance to work with musically?
I'd love to do some stuff with Metallica. I mean, obviously. We've become really good friends with the guys in Bullet for my Valentine. We'd love to...
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I say collaboration, touring-wise, I'd love to do a tour with Bullet, a tour with Avenged Sevenfold. You know, I think those would be great shows, a great mix between our band and theirs. And I mean, we've been very fortunate. We've had some great collaborators on the records, from Zach Wilde to Miles Kennedy to Mark Tremonti. Marty Friedman did some stuff. Jeff Waters from Annihilator played some stuff with us. And I think on the next record we're going to have a couple, just little guests, maybe a guest solo here, maybe some guest backing vocals. Because we've got a lot of talented friends, so you want to take advantage of that. But you don't want it to be like a gimmick where every song has a guest on it or something like that. But we have one song in particular that we're going to get a super famous, great guitar player to do something with us that we've never worked with yet. And I think another song, maybe we get a friend of mine to do some backing vocals. It's an amazing singer that everyone knows too. So, but other than that, we're just going to do the whole thing on our own. We've got a great band now with Billy and Paul being with us now. And like I said, the next album's going to be a steamroller, so we're not going to really have to rely on any gimmicks. No gimmicks necessary.
No gimmicks needed as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Is that what it was? No gimmicks needed?
That was what Chris Candido
said.
said.
That's what I was trying to say. I fucked it up.
No, no worries.
Yeah.
Moving on to some brief wrestling chatter then. One of the big
Well, that
stories...
was a good segue.
It was, very good.
Speaking of wrestling...
Indeed.
Let's move on to Indeed is Funaka's gimmick. I got that one right.
There you go. Today, it's, for many people, and perhaps you as well, because I know you...